This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Portian Bakery. If you're located in the Portian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Portian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, so a bit of a shorter one because I have something to do right after this, so we're probably going to try and stick to an hour. But the first thing that I did want to talk about was, so I saw Blink in concert on Thursday, and it's so interesting because, like, these, how do I put this? It's like you see someone. All right, let's look at their origin story. They're just friends from high school who created a band, and then that band in the garage started to get famous, and they got signed, and then they just kept playing every single show. And like, if there was like a giant like concert, they would always say yes. Okay. And another person that I saw live before was Kevin Hart, and like in the comedian culture, it's like you just always say yes. I saw Joe Rogan live too, but it wasn't as good as like Kevin Hart. I would say like Kevin Hart is like the best comedian I saw, and like music wise, Blink-182 was friggin' amazing. But I was thinking about how like repetition over time is really all it is. Because if you look at Kevin Hart's story, he's like, okay, you were from like lower income place, and like you were working at a Foot Locker, and then all your friends were like, oh, you're really funny, you should try stand up. You know what I'm saying? And then like Blink too, it's like they were just playing together as friends, and then it's like their personality shined through the whole time. You know what I mean? Like you are still the same person that you were before like becoming big or like honing this craft. And it's like you almost had it always in you. But then I'm wondering, like, can't we all just do that too? Or do you think it's like a very specific type of person?
No, but I think that's the uniqueness of people, right? It depends on each person has some ability of something.
So you think it's like drive, or you think it's talent? Basically, it's like, does hard work beat talent, or does talent beat hard work? Because there's that line, right? It's like hard work always beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah. I think it's yeah. I think talent can go get you so far, but there's something. I think hard work also has a big impact.
has a thing in it, right? Yeah. But I'm also wondering, like, can everyone just do it? Like, okay, so we were rock climbing yesterday. Okay, me and Tara, and then I started to realize like it had only been like three times that we went, and this is our third time, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to get like better. Like I could already tell that like my body's remembering what it had done the previous 2 times, right? And I'm like, it's cheap too. It's like you're just paying like $40, unlimited access. You can come in and out. If you pay for a month, it's like $80, And then I was like, all these amazing climbers like Alex Honnold, Jimmy Chin, it's like, did you just spend all your time in the climbing gym? That's what they said too. You know what I mean? Like, so we get like Blink, who all they did was just like play shows all the time. That's how they got famous, right? 3 friends from a garage. And then you get like Kevin Hart, who got famous through like just grinding. And then you get freaking Jimmy Chin, Alex Honnold, like all these like underdogs who became super like there's a difference between like somebody who's manufactured. You know what I'm saying? So like Taylor Swift, her story, if you watch the thing, it's like from the jump, they're like, you're going to be famous. We're just going to put you in everything. We're crafting you as this person. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like these three people I mentioned are just like, oh, this is just like a hobby that I really liked, and I just like kept following my passion, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, it's like successful. You know what I mean? Like, there's a weird distinction there
Sure.
of like a
Yeah, yeah,
creative
yeah.
person and like this is just cool, and I just kept doing it, and now I'm like famous for doing it.
Hmm.
You know, like Jimmy Chin was living in his car for like 7 years or something. He said
Right.
before
Okay.
he got famous, like dude, 7 years, long time. He just climbed for 7 years, lived in
Hmm.
his car in Yosemite.
Hmm.
So like, what is that? You know,
Yeah, that's I guess that's a drive thing in that kind of person, just wanting to get better at that thing.
weird
Right.
though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you're like, how many outliers are there out there?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you're like, can I do that too?
Yeah. Hmm.
And then I just wonder, like, do we all have this ability? We just get like complacent and lazy, or just don't believe in ourselves. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's very odd. There's like, forget the fame, forget the fame.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right. It's more like, oh, all right, how about this? You ever met somebody and then you're like, you ever meet somebody and you're like, oh, wow, you could do that. Oh, you could do that. Oh, you could do that. And they're just like so well rounded in like their talents. Or like you've probably seen in a show, it's like, oh, I could speak different languages and I can also do this and I can also do that. And you're just like, dude, you're like a sleeper. How did this happen?
Hmm.
You know? And like, it's just those people that just kept going.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
why is that then the norm? You
Which,
know?
which one's the norm?
The norm is like most people are just like,
What you're saying? Why is that not the norm? Is
why
that
is
what?
not that not the norm? Yeah.
Mm.
You know, like, are we just geared in a society way to be like, just lock in, bro? That's it.
No, I think that I guess that would be the safe way, right?
Yeah,
It
right.
it
You,
depends, but it depend. But the freedom is there for you to do those things. But that's up to you.
yeah, that's a good point, actually. The safety. And then the thing that's like bothering me about the safety thing, I guess I always felt it since I was a kid, is just like, dude, we're gonna die anyways, you know?
Hmm.
And like, okay, wait, is this just I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast before, but or I don't even know if I told you, but like, is it just me who always thought you were gonna die young? Like, like with all of our adventures, I was like, remember when we were biking in Twin Rivers? It was like, I don't know if you remember this, but it was like me, you, Kevin, Wob, and we were like biking through Twin Rivers, and then we were like just using our regular bikes, and then like Wob hopped over his bike because like we were going down like a really branchy hill. He hit a branch and then he launched himself over top of the handlebars. We were just laughing about it,
Hmm.
but it's like you could have died. We could have died.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like I guess like in that, and then like my mom always being like, "Oh, I came home from work and like all these people are dead." And you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna die." You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
So like it always just felt like, why choose the safe route if we're all gonna die anyways?
Hmm.
Like thoughts, like really, like I don't know.
It depends. I think at your for me, it was just more like having fun. I don't think I was thinking about death in that sense. It's just
Mm, yeah.
it was more fun, right? There was
So it's like
no.
just keep doing the fun thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think that's what like gravitated me towards like Blink, because they were always just like, because they were just literally three friends who just started to get famous. And it was
Hmm.
like, oh, they were just doing the fun thing. Even at the show, like when they came out, um, they're like, hello, Vancouver. And you're like
Hmm.
laughing, 'cause you're like, obviously it's Toronto, but they're trying to make themselves laugh. And then they're like, we're so proud to be playing where the Blue Jays lose.
Right.
People laugh,
Sure.
people laughing, right? And it's like, oh, you're just like digging at me. But like, it's because they don't care. They're like, it's funny for them. Even
Hmm.
Mark Hoppus, the bassist, he posted this picture where he wrote a sign and it said, "If you can read this, you paid too much for your tickets. Thank you, Mark."
Mm.
Because those tickets were like $1,500 to
Right,
get on
right,
the
right.
floor.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? It's like they're just doing the fun thing, like you're saying,
Sure.
and it's like, oh, it's starting to take off. But it's like, why don't we all just do the fun thing?
It depends on what the fun things are. But I think people.
Or do you think I'm wrong? You think everyone's just doing the fun thing that I just don't think it's fun? Like it's like, oh, let's just. Do you remember when we were like in university? I never understood club culture. You and me both. Remember we went like a couple of times. We're just like, what? We're just wasting money, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah.
You have loud music, like you're really not gonna pick up someone.
Sure.
But that was
Yeah.
like the mentality, and like everyone's have like, oh, well, meet someone tonight. Like, no, you just spent like $100 on free drinks for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's some some funny stories about it. Or like they love me. Why do they love you? Because I bought them all drinks. No,
Yeah.
they just love the free drinks. You remember that story?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was hilarious. And we were like I'm the man tonight. You're like, no, you're literally just blowing your money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so you know what I'm saying? So it's like that seems fun, but if you really look at it, it's like that's not fun. If
Mm-hmm.
you really look at it, it's like it's just loud music. Like even climbing, it was tripping me out yesterday because I was like, it looked cool because like Arvel was really good. I think last podcast I was talking about Arvel climbing, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me check out the climbing gym. I went to the one Jason Momoa. So there's two. So Jason Momoa trains at this one in Markham that's like 20 minutes away, but then
Mm-hmm.
he shot a promo video for the Mississauga one. So we went to the Mississauga one. And like, so like, yeah, Arvel like restoked that flame, and I was like, oh, let me go try this. But then I realized like at the end, wait, we're just like literally just climbing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it looks cool in the video. You know, like I'm watching Jason Momoa climb, I'm like, oh, dude, I want to do that too. That looks so sick. And people like when I post the video, people are like, oh, it's so sick, right? But like, it's just we're literally just climbing on a wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like you look at it at face value,
Mm-hmm.
or like not face value. Look at like the reality of the situation. So is it really fun? Like the clubbing thing, is it really fun, or is it like prescribed fun?
Uh, I think that it could be depending on the person, right?
Okay, okay, explain though. Like you be the good cop for why why clubbing is fun, and I'll just be like, oh, it's not fun because of this.
Yeah, if people just want to hang around and drink and do whatever, I think if that person likes it, that's fine. But if you're thinking of this is supposed to get me this, like if I'm doing it to get something out of it that isn't what you like doing, then it's
Yes,
not fun.
yes, yes, yes. Um, that's so. Did we talk about this on the podcast, or did I just like make a post about this? I can't remember. That's the exact same thing I was thinking of too when you said it. It's like when you're chasing the accolade of it.
Mm,
It's like I'm doing this because of no. It's like no, just do like the art thing
yeah,
because like that the act of doing the art thing is like what the whole point is.
yeah. If you're doing it out of for an outcome, then you're not doing things for fun, right?
Yeah. So Ice Cube said this, and I cut up like a video of it, and I was like, oh, he gets it. So like they're like, Ice Cube, how can you do so many things? Like you're a rapper, you're like a producer, you're a writer, all this, and he's like, because I'm just creating, and
Mm,
then I'm moving on. By the time they're like, oh, do you care about the critics? He's like, by the time you're writing about the thing, I've already forgotten about the thing, and I moved on to the next thing. And when I heard that, I was like, that's exactly it. It's like who cares?
mm,
Like if you like it, you don't like it, whatever.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like it's the genuine um I don't know, the genuine like
And even with that, especially with art, it's you don't know what's going to actually work. The
exactly, yes.
critics just have an opinion, right? That doesn't mean the
Yeah.
critics are correct.
No, no, that's so true too, because there's also a marketing machine behind you, right? So like the reason why Blink kept playing those shows is because they realized like, oh, or Blink did it too, Vince Staples as well. But like Blink is like, the more we play these shows, the more opportunities we get. So let's just play every single show.
Hmm.
So they were known for like playing the show and posting their videos online, and I'd watch like all the concerts all the time because it was just like they didn't care if you watched the show
Hmm.
because the songs were so easy that they could just change the set list.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like Vince Staples said that too. He's like, I choose the beats that are gonna get me into video games and movies because they'll buy the song off me. Like I don't care about the music.
Hmm.
He cares about the music, but it's like it's more the commercial aspect of it, right? And
Yeah.
like because you have to realize that if you're doing it for the art, like that's one thing, but there's a whole marketing machine behind the art.
Hmm.
There's a lot of like famous artists and musicians that we just don't know about,
Yeah.
because there's no marketing machine behind them, but they're
True.
so skilled,
Hmm.
right? Okay, so back to the drinking and the clubbing thing. So we were like, oh, well, if you like doing that, whatever, whatever. But like, how many times do you drink at like Wob's house and like get so like messed up and like throw up, like the same thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, why do you need to go to? Why do I got a mission downtown, wait in line, dress nice, pay the entrance fee, not know anybody, worry if my stuff's gonna get stolen,
Mm-hmm.
worry if I'm gonna get into a fight. Like, you know what I mean? It almost seems like prescribed. It's like that's the clubbing scene. That's what we all did because like the last person did it too. We're gonna do it too. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you actually think about it, it's like what was there?
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
All right, so we're both on the same side. Like I was hoping that you'd be like, oh, actually, well, there's this, but like, no, you see, right? Like that's why we
Sure.
didn't
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
we both didn't like it anyway, so I think that makes sense.
Yeah, there was only one time that I was like, oh, this is fun, but we weren't at. I guess you can kind of call it a club, but it wasn't really a club. Like me and Wob shot this video for this person, and then they were doing like an after party at this place, and then me and Wob hadn't hung out in a while, so we're like, let's just like drink as much as we can, like friggin' go off, and like that was fun. But like then you had to mission home after. So it was like, oh, that was fun because we were just like trying to make ourselves laugh.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like we were trying to like hook up with anyone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
There was no like agenda. It was just
sure.
like, oh, this would be funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it'll equally be as funny as we watch like a movie and just like hung. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know. It's just like there's like I think as I grow older, I'm starting to see more and more programming that we had as kids, but I think we both already felt it. You know, it's like, why are you asking me to do this?
But I think, especially at that age, you're also very young. You don't know a lot. I
Okay.
haven't experienced a lot. It's part of that whole
Growing up.
growing up thing. Yeah, I think so. I think you realize, okay, this is not for me, because with experience, that's how you grow, right? So,
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
right, if some people are still in that phase, maybe uh, they haven't grown up. They're still
Right. No, but for real
right.
though. No, but for real though. Like, it's weird to see, like, I don't, how do I put this? It's like,
I
we
mean,
already,
right. I
yeah,
mean, it makes sense if we're at that age. People were doing it at that age,
you're
right?
curious. You're like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
No.
Which makes sense, which is fine, and they're also young, right? You're gonna make dumb stuff, silly
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah. True,
That's
true, true.
part of being young.
True, 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 true. But like, how many times you have to burn your hand before you're like, oh, the stove's hot?
Sure. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You're right actually, because we always hear those like horror stories of those like 40-year-olds still at clubs, and you're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why? Right? But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but it's an actual thing of like, or it's like the Wonderland thing that I was saying a while back. It's like, why do we go to Wonderland? Why do old people go to Wonderland if you don't have children, or
Hmm.
like you're bringing a freaking somebody who's visiting to Wonderland?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because like when I went there and I saw like regular adults going by themselves, you're like, what are you doing here, bro?
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, maybe it's just like counterculture. Maybe it's like skateboard, punk rock, like hip hop culture, where it's just like going against the system. You know what I'm trying to say? Because like Blake was always like that. Like, if you listen to the song Aliens Exist, it was about conspiracies and like not believing the government. And like, even a lot of their lyrics, like Anthem Part Two, was all about like not believing the government.
Hmm.
And then I guess as a kid, you're kind of like, yeah, anarchy. But that's what punk was about. Punk was like going against the establishment, right?
Right.
And then but they were right, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. 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 It was a thing at the time. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, in the '90s, as we
like,
were going.
like, no, that's true for real though. No,
Yeah.
for real though.
Yeah.
Like the red pill, the Matrix, like
Mhm.
society's like not real, stuff like that. And like now you don't really see that. You don't see that kind of like, you know what
Uh,
I'm saying?
yes.
It's all about following the rules, 6 feet back. You know what I mean?
There's things like that, but I don't know. Yeah, it depends. Now that we have social media, it's much more. I don't know if it's controlled or manufactured or something like that,
It's just
right?
an easier way to like mass manipulate people.
Could yeah.
But like, why did they let those things get popular in the first place? Like, why would you let like the Matrix get popular?
Uh, I think there may be something there already at the time. Why get it popular? You don't know what gets popular. You're. It's a money game too, right? It's a good
But
idea.
you like greenlit it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah. I know,
there's a
I know.
producer that was like,
Sure, yeah, but
good idea.
not all movies greenlit doesn't mean it's going to be popular, right?
True. Okay, fair. Fair. Okay, why were the movies back in the 90s so much more like Tara and I were talking about this. It's like if you look at like the movies in the 70s and 80s, they're like meh. And then you look at like the 90s to like 2010s, and then they're like, whoa, we were getting some crazy movies. And then you get like till now, and it's kind of like everything's kind of cookie cutter, everything's the same. And my theory is this technology, because
Yeah, I was going to tell you there's an answer to this. I think
oh, really?
Matt Damon kind of talked about it.
Okay, hold wait, wait. Let me throw it out there and let's see if I was on the same vibe as him
Sure,
then.
sure.
So it was technology. So when you think about the Matrix, it was like bullet time. So people
Mm-hmm.
were like, trying to make, or like Inception. Oh, there's like the slow-mo world where the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like every movie was trying to push the boundaries of creativity. But now we're kind of like we were tapped out on technology. Like I could just like green screen it and you would not know. I'd use AI, whatever. So it's like you could be lazier in your artistic endeavors. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you can be more creative, but I'm not seeing that because you're like, oh, it's easier to make those bullet time videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it almost felt like they were hungrier. It's like when a band first releases its first album, you're like, oh, dude, like perfect example. Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent, best album of all time. Not all time, but like one of the best albums of all time. Right. And then you look at his other albums, you're like, not so great.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was hunger, right? Like Candy Shop, like what were we talking about? I know you're a big 50 Cent fan, that's why I'm like choosing this one. But like all the hits were on many men, all
Sure,
that stuff
sure.
was like on the
Yeah, yeah.
Get Rich or Die Trying. So is that why? Or like tell me why.
Uh, it's part of technology, but not. It's sure it's the graphic quality or whatnot, but those are unique stories too, right? And it comes down to how much money they can make from the not just the box office, but DVD sales. We don't have DVD sales now, so there's no more risks. You have to.
Oh.
So then, at that time in the '90s, you would make movie at the box office, money at the box office, and then
Ooh.
you'd make money from DVDs.
Okay.
Right. So if it doesn't necessarily do well in the box office, you've got a chance in the DVD market to still make some money back.
Right.
So you can take risks in the type of stories you want to tell, unique stuff. That right. So now it's that there's no you're putting a lot of money in, or you're putting money in only in things that can make money, which would be what did they say? It's like they already have uh, some sort of backing already. It's like why we have a Battleship movie, or why do we have
Oh, it's like guaranteed.
it's like there's some money gonna come back because everybody knows what Battleship is, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I
right
see what
now. So like now that the Marvel stuff or like things like that, like you'd only find um doing thing like Barbie, right? Barbie already has a name behind it.
Dude. Wow. That makes sense.
Yeah. So this is what Matt Damon was saying.
That actually
It's not
makes
me.
sense. No, that actually wait, hold on. That actually makes sense. So like before you can hedge your bets because you're like, I can still put promotional ad dollars behind this, even if it fails at the box office.
Mhm.
Right. But like because of streaming services, I don't make that much of a return. So I need to hit it out of the park at the box office, but there's no guarantee you can hit it out of the park.
Mhm.
So I need to choose things that already have recognition brand
Mhm.
wise in order to make sure that I have some audience at the box office.
Yeah.
Damn. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense because like the Matrix, like
That's
nobody
why.
knew what the Matrix
Yeah.
was.
And that's why we had so many different kinds of movies that are not gonna not,
Yes.
especially when we were growing up, just because you can make it
Oh my god, I tell Tara this after the freaking podcast because like we were both like, why were the movies like way better
because it's
before?
about the money. Yeah, you can make money from theaters and from DVD sales. There's no DVD sales
That's
anymore.
wow. Okay, could you imagine what kind of world we live in? Like, let's say, all right, infinite energy, and like you get rid of like the cost of things. Imagine the art that would be created. You just have like crazy movies.
Yeah, it's all again. Yeah, that's what it is. If you can make it for cheaper, that's how we can, or not cheaper, but like there's a chance of making more money or cheaper, whatever it may be.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how we'll probably get extra or like new type of movies or good movies or like trying unique things, trying to see
Yeah, yeah,
what
unique
works.
things. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
That's the thing. And it's like it's not really about the scripts anymore. It's more about like what we'll say. That's so true. It's not about the scripts actually, because the thing you said with Matt Damon, it's like who cares? Like I remember I'm thinking about Pool Hall Junkies. Do you remember that movie?
no.
Okay, so it's like basically a movie about a hustler, like a pool hall hustler.
Mm-hmm.
And like he would go, and it was just a great story because like freaking or do you remember Lucky Number 11?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so there's another one. It's like a big mystery movie and a twist, but like it was all based on the writing.
yeah.
But we don't get that anymore because like, yeah, it might be based off the writing, but like who knows what that is? There's no brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
We,
So
we can make a lot of money.
yeah, it's not just brand. Yeah, like, now it's like from books, right? So there's an audience from the
Yes.
book, so they make the movie. So like again, it's like it already has some audience, so that's what they're trying to pull from.
Oh my God. This is so good. Okay. Um, I was gonna take like a pee break, but like I'm gonna say we're gonna end like we're gonna talk about this and then I'll go take a pee break because this is like you hit the nail on the head when you said the books thing. Um, books are a great way to get recognition. Did you watch that movie that was so overhyped? Well, I
No,
don't want to say overhyped, like let's
I
keep it
haven't
in
seen
my
it.
opinion.
No. I,
You know what I'm talking about with Blake Lively, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I was like, so Tara doesn't like movies, going to the movie theater. So I was like, "Hey, I'm like injured from jujitsu. Like, do you want to like do something?" And there was a Tuesday. She's like, "Oh, I'll go to the movies with you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It was weird. You want to go
Mm,
see a movie? Sure. I'll love to go see a movie with you. And she's like, "Oh, this it ends with us."
okay.
And I was like, "Sure. That's like a love story. I don't care, whatever." So we go and it's packed. I like 3 or 4 days before I was trying to buy the tickets and I couldn't find any.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, we were like right on the side, and I was like, "Oh, how freaking amazing is this movie?" And like, Tara's sister went, she's like, "Oh my God, it's the best movie ever." Not the best movie ever, but like it was so good. And then Tara's friend like saw it, and then like she's like, "Oh, I didn't bring enough Kleenex." I was like crying the whole time. So I was like, "All right, here we go. It's gonna be an intense one, right?" But like historically, Blake Lively hasn't made good movies. Like, name a good movie Blake Lively's made. Sorry, Blake Lively, you're amazing, but like actually name one.
A movie?
Yep, exactly.
I don't.
Sister of the Traveling Pants, Gossip Girl.
It's a show, right?
It's a show, but I'm just like giving her some bones here.
I don't recall anything that I remember
All
her
right, you
making.
don't recall, right? Exactly. So we've watched like a bunch of her movies, like me and Tara, because we're like, oh, like she married Ryan Reynolds, so she's pretty famous. So we like watch it. There was one with Anna Kendrick and that dude from Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay.
All right, anyways, so like it wasn't good. So we go in and I was like, the bar's kind of low, whatever. But like people were going off, like all the girls, like were just like so excited, whatever. And they watched the movie, and I'm like, we literally were laughing to ourselves because it was so poorly acted,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then Tara was like, "Oh, this is the problem when you literally take the dialogue from a book and put it into a movie. It's almost like they just chopped that and they didn't adapt it to the screen. They just moved the dialogue from the book to the movie, and it comes off awkward, right?" Like, so basically, there's one scene, the opening scene. The dude comes out, he kicks a chair, and then she goes, "What did the chair do to you?" And then
Okay.
he goes, "Don't worry, the chair's strong. Please, can you get down from there? You're making me nervous." And then she's like, "Me sitting on this ledge, it's making you nervous." Like, this is the dialogue, bro. Like, "It's making you nervous? Yes, please come down." "I will not come down." "Okay, I will sit next to you so that," like, it was like that. It's like when you're reading a book, you're like, "Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally, totally."
Mm-hmm.
But like you should adapt it to be more like emotive or something. It was so like almost being read. Okay. So when you're saying like the safety of a book, right? So like they knew if we make this book, there's gonna be fans, which we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing matters, bro. Like it was sold out. It was so hard to find those tickets,
Right.
but the movie was not good.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, like the business machine behind it, it's like, well, this is a safe bet, but the quality's not good. But we got people in the door, but the quality's not good. But we made our money.
Sure.
It's really just about money.
Yeah. It's yes, of course.
which is sad because you're like, dude, this is like, what are we doing artistically? And then people, no, but the difference being this though, we have a high caliber of like, I'm sure if you watch this movie, you're gonna be like, dude, this is the worst movie ever.
Mhm.
But why were people like crying? Everyone's like, oh my god, this is the best. Tara was like, I think it's the strike, the writer strike. Like we're just getting really bad movies, but like you actually make the most sense now with the economy.
Right. Okay. I don't know too much about this movie, but I like outside of like the acting thing, I'm more surrounded by like I think it's a topic that was on the movie or about the movie that is being
About wait, hold on. Is it about the actors or the movie story?
the
Because there's two.
movie's the story, the
Okay,
story.
go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Because um, from what Thivia's saying, right? Because that's the mix. What I'm hearing is they didn't. They were promoting it like a rom com, or she was trying to promote it like a rom com, but it's not a rom com. As per the director, he's trying to show that it's about
Okay,
domestic violence.
for sure. Okay, you check this out. Check this out. So
And so,
That's what Tara's saying to me too. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's see the freaking the anger, like the
sure, okay, okay,
controversy here, right? So we go watch the movie. I get why they're marketing it two different ways. The domestic violence part is 1/8 of the entire story. If
yeah,
you had done the lead, all right, spoilers, because you know you haven't watched it. I'm just gonna spoil it for you. If you had done a lead up of like, oh, like it seems like he's treating her bad. Oh, it seems like he's hitting her. Oh, you know what I mean? Like a slow build, then that would be actually about domestic violence. But like 7/8 of this movie is about her opening up a flower shop, her falling in love, her remembering her boy. Like literally, it was only like maybe the last 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, where you're like, oh, he's violent.
hmm
So you're kind of like, the execution was off. So he, as the director, was like, I want it to be more about domestic violence. But it's like, but you did that for like such a short amount of the movie. So she's like, it's a rom com. It's like, because it literally was a rom com and then it just turned dark.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? So it's like poorly directed, poorly executed. So like I get that part. I thought you were going to talk about how like she said he
no,
was like
because this is this is from as for coming from the book's perspective. This is the things that I've been hearing about, but I don't know too much about it until
if
I
you
watch
followed the
it.
book,
Yeah, until I watch it or
don't watch it.
until we watch it, which will
Okay,
be not in theaters, probably be
okay,
like as a streaming thing.
don't waste your money. Like it's and it was long. We are like, why is it not over? Like because you're like because there's nothing
Sure,
happening.
sure,
It's
yeah,
all about her building a flower shop. Like literally, the most of the movie is like a 2 hour movie or something. Like an hour and
yeah.
a half is about her following her dreams. So we're like, when's this gonna get dark? You know what
Right.
I mean?
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. So like I don't know how the is the book better. I guess the book is probably better, but we
Mhm.
don't. Right. Those sort of things are. I think that's we'll find. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. So this is that's the stuff that's going on about this movie.
Yeah, totally. But like the young girls loved it though. Like I mean, like loved the hype of it. Like they were very excited. But what was interesting was when the movie was starting and the opening scene had Blake Lively, the girls behind us went, "Is she famous?" And then the other girl went, "That's Ryan Reynolds' wife." Like, dude, you didn't even know who Blake Lively was. You're literally coming for the book, like you said. It's like
Mm.
it's a safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
freaking go with this because you know
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's kind of sad though, because it's like
But
it's just
it's
almost
not
like the
it's not
only.
that is it's not I don't sure sad or whatnot, but I think it's just uh it it can change over time. What's the
Yeah,
new
fast.
technology
Sure.
that right? Like in the '80s, you're saying like these are weird movies, but like they didn't have people didn't really have VHS or things like that at home
Totally.
at the
Yeah,
time.
facts.
So they're it's a different kind of technology at that time. This is how they had to make movies to make money, and then
Mm.
'90s it changed. Right, everybody's got DVDs or Blu-rays, whatever that was going on. So it was like more chances to make more money, so you can risk more. Now it's like it's not that. So now we're back at the no more DVD. So let's.
Right. But also, okay, I'm gonna leave you with this question, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Um, is it because TV shows are really good now? Like
That's true.
they're really starting to pick
Sure.
up. Is it because people are opting to tell a more robust story through longer air times versus an hour and a half. They're like, I can actually tell a better story with 8 episodes that are an hour and a half
Mm-hmm.
versus 1 hour and a half movie. So it's like, why would I spend, like, the risk is there? Plus, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
you were saying, monetarily, the story quality will be less good. Let me just move over here. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's where everyone's moving. Quick pause. And then you tell me your thoughts. Hold on. Okay. We're back. All right. So what do you think? So opting for TV over movie?
TV, because I think the shift has happened to that. Because of the now there's more streaming platforms. Now there's more opportunity. Now it's how to keep someone's attention to use your
Mm,
platform,
true.
and that's where shows help.
True. Okay. Okay. So maybe we just have to forego movies. Maybe this is really the signal of like, yeah, movies are going to die and then theaters are going to die
No,
too.
again, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily that simple. It's just it's a, whatever's going on. It's we act based on the markets.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
that's what
right.
it is. It doesn't mean that something
Yeah,
just dead. I don't think that's necessarily.
true.
We don't know what's the future is gonna happen. What's gonna happen in the future?
That's so funny. It's like really economics drives our decision making.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Like everything revolves around money. Money rules the world, and we just refuse to look at it like that.
Yeah.
Because you can always take every single thing and just look at the resource of it and the money of it, and you're just like, oh, that's why that happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, funny. Um, okay, and anything else about that?
No, I think there are a lot of shows that are good, or I mean, a lot of things that people are watching more are TV, right? Or TV
Yeah,
shows.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts of facts. We're still on the reality TV thing, so like we haven't moved back to series because like we're waiting for something like Severance to come back. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. I seen the
Dude,
Jake
you will
Gyllenhaal's show. It's a good one.
okay, watch you will love you will love Severance. No, like
No,
you
no, I
will
understand.
love Severance.
Sure.
It's so good. It's so like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. But the Jake Gyllenhaal, good? No, not
It's
really.
good.
I'm surprised you haven't watched Severance. I'm like, dude,
I
what?
don't know. It's
Taking so
just
long.
there's so many other things that I was
No,
coming
no, but
away,
this is
or
like
where do
no, but
I?
this is like pro, bro. And especially when season 2
Sure.
comes out, like the way it ends, you will love Severance. It's like
Mm.
Westworld when Westworld was in its heyday.
Hmm.
But not like, Westworld
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
fell
yeah.
off, but like in the beginning, we're like, oh, dude, this is crazy. It's like it's literally like that equivalent. So, yeah, that's my little plug for that. All right, two quick things, and then one philosophical thing, and then I have to jump. So the first thing is, do you hear that Drake dropped 100 gigs of data? I just want to quickly talk about this.
I mean, I heard that. I don't listen to anything. I mean, I don't really care enough to like follow it.
No, no, totally, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sure.
With the whole Kendrick Lamar thing. All right, so the funny part about this is like he dropped 100 gigs and everyone's like, oh my god, he's the goat, he's the goat, all like the Drake lovers. And it's so funny, a Drake song came on and I was like, I'll switch it. And Tara's like, you're not gonna listen to any more Drake songs? I'm like, no, we don't support that guy. And she's like, you'll listen to like Michael Jackson. And I'm like, it's different. And she's like, you don't even know Kendrick. Like, why are you repping so hard? I'm like, I don't know. I just damn, just damn.
But we're just in the culture. We're just with the
Yeah,
flow
right.
right now. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, totally. Maybe
Things
he'll
can
come back
change.
in the future, who knows,
Yeah. Who
but,
knows?
like, not right now. So he dropped 100 gigs of data and people are, like, calling him the GOAT, and when I was seeing what was being dropped, I'm like, "It doesn't seem like GOAT status, it seems more like you're trying to prove that you're not a ghostwriter. You're not using ghostwriters because all of it is, like, him recording his songs, so it's almost like you dropped all your receipts.
Hmm.
It's like, "Hey, this is me," like, it's like Drake in the studio, Drake explaining what this song means. It's, like, just him over the years of him, like, recording his songs. And then like you can see that it's him recording the songs. It's almost like being like, hey man, I swear I did do it. Look here. Here's all my
Right.
receipts. It's like that. It felt like that to me. But people are like, you're the GOAT. And I'm like, why? Make no sense. But you see what I mean? You see where I'm coming from, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's weird. Okay, other thing, monkeypox update. Are we gonna have to get shots? Like what's going on with that?
Uh,
I'm
I
sure you're paying more attention than I am. I just saw that and I was like, oh no, pandemic part two.
no. I mean, I don't think it's. Well, I don't know. It depends. I haven't really been following that. I don't think
Like it
it's.
was in Europe or something. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was, but it's like one person. in Sweden or something, and
Okay.
another person in the UK. It's not uh like we've had monkeypox before, right?
Oh. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it wasn't. It's like sure, there's a minor increase, something to watch, but I think that's fine. That's good that we're watching it, I guess.
Okay, okay, cool. So nothing to worry about yet. It's sort of like with the tetanus shot. Remember, I was like freaking out about it because my mom was like, "You gotta get the tetanus shot," and then Googled like how many people died of tetanus, and it was like 8,000 over 3 years or something, or
Mm-hmm.
13 years or something. So it's like, dude, that's such a small amount. So it's like the one person in Europe, and we're making a huge deal of it. Like,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, outside of Africa, the issue is in Africa, not in.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I just hope it doesn't like. I don't want to get another shot, bro. Like, let's chill out on the shots.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it's now that we're more vigilant to it, is things that you learn from COVID that we
And
can
this
watch
one's
now for. So
for
there's
sure. And this one's pretty obvious too. It's like
this
you.
is an obvious thing. Yeah,
It's like chicken pox, bro. You're like, whoa.
right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So nothing to worry about there. I actually have one more before I talk about the philosophical thing. Apple Intelligence. I had this note on here for a while. You're like, you wanted to talk about like
That was a long
Apple's.
time now. I don't
Yeah, I know,
remember
right? It's been a
much.
while. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
Um,
getting close to the iPhone release, so we'll probably know more at that time where we're at with Apple Intelligence.
so it's like an AI kind of
An AI, yeah, basically an assistant that does a lot of things and seems like it's gonna kill
replace
out.
Siri.
No, I mean it is the new Siri.
Oh no way. That's cool.
Along with killing some other companies, so potentially killing other companies.
Is the Apple Intelligence, is it already out or do you still have to wait?
There are probably some things out on beta, but
Oh, but it's not like.
like the whole math thing, math calculating and that kind
Oh,
of
right. Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Dude, that is crazy. I think my sister, I don't know if she sent it to like our group chat, but like she sent it to me and I saw it. I was like, but we had seen this before where it's like you write out the equation and it gives you the answer right
Mm-hmm,
away.
mm-hmm.
So she was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
probably
yeah.
what someone's beta or using that beta, I guess, and showing it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. Um, have you tried the Meta um AI yet?
Um, on
Like on Facebook
I don't really
or like WhatsApp
ins
too?
on Instagram, but like it's more like a search thing,
A
right?
search thing. Okay, cool. Arvel was showing me the one that's built into I think Facebook, and he's like, it's basically got the creation engine in it, where you can be like, hey, show me
Mm-hmm.
Goku with Naruto in the background, and then it'll like appear. So they really do. They're making a lot of pushes. Meta is so that'll be interesting. Like the two juggernauts, like Apple and Meta, battling it out with AI.
Even Twitter,
Yeah.
well, X, even X had some new AI releases.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
they
Oh,
have.
I heard Tesla Bot is coming out soon.
Like I don't know. There's a lot of AI things that are happening. But
No,
we
no, I mean
just.
the robot, not like the AI thing, like Tesla, like the
Oh, okay.
actual like robot that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
purchase, like as a home assistant, like iRobot kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it could be a really interesting world soon if like we start selling iRobots en masse, and you have like an iRobot at home.
Yeah.
Pretty sick, pretty sick. Okay, last thing, you had brought this up before, and I was like, this is so true. So like we don't realize that everything that we are engaged in is a complete mind game. So when like they're like the world is the mind. So my story with this was that yeah, I was like, you know how we like see each other and we're like, oh, you'll never know what it's like to do this,
Sure.
right? And then you're like, you're not really living unless you do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then I was like looking at Athena and I was like, she'll never know what it is to do any of these things, but she's still living and she has a full life. It's like, who's to tell you what it means to live, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And you were like, if you even take the idea of like slavery, for example, that's a big thing that's been with us forever. But like the Native Americans who are just like hunter and gathering, like their lives are are just hunting and gathering. Like they didn't create all these narratives and things like slavery, having children, owning a house, going camping, going on vacation, and you're like, you're not really living, or like these are all like important things that build up society, it's like these are all literally just fictitious things that we all agreed upon,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, what kind of world are we really living in if not a completely fabricated world?
Yeah. I think it's fabricated in the sense that, yeah, as a society, we've made those decisions to go in that direction.
Yeah, it's weird. And you're just like, when you really think about it, the idea of laws and all that are just like suggestions. There's really nothing stopping you from doing anything
Hmm.
except for like what's in your head. But didn't they say like the strongest cage of all is like your own mind? Because if you look at an elephant, you like you put the
Yeah.
chain
Oh, yeah.
around it,
Yeah.
right? And then it grows older. It still thinks the chain's there, even though there's no chain.
Hmm.
You've conditioned the elephant to like believe a certain thing, and that's like very much society in a nutshell,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's also dangerous to realize that too, because then you're like, well, you should do anything.
Yeah. That's, yeah. People can crack if they're not prepared to handle
Yeah,
that truth. Yeah.
but you saying like can crack? It's like, is that the Matrix?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
we're like, oh, you're living the Matrix. You're like, what do you mean? Like, what is it? We're not actually plugged into like a computer, are we? Like, no, but you're believing every single story that's being told to you.
Hmm. I think that's why it's like that's why there's a few people that do that where they push these boundaries and they say it too, right?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs said it, right? Like,
Oh, what?
you're like, that there's this bubble kind of thing, but you're poking things, right? But if you don't realize that there's something there, like something to
Oh,
push
yeah.
boundaries on, right? But those are who I don't know who really he's saying it to everybody, but who's understanding what that really means?
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. It's the line like with eyes to see and ears to hear. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are like, yeah, maybe. Like, but see, but it's funny because it's like the evolution of that from youth. Because I remember hearing that in like university, and when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, I could probably just like build the life that I want. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But then now when you're more educated and you understand more things about the world, you're like, oh no, he's talking about society in general,
Mm-hmm.
not just about like getting the job or the life you want. It's also about like why did you buy that car over this car? Why did you buy that grocery over this grocery? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with that is like, I'm gonna say, and maybe you disagree with me, but I really think that marketing is like the be all end all,
Yeah, yeah, it's part of that, of course. Yeah.
because like that is literally how you shape
Minds.
reality,
Yeah.
life, right? Like it's like why did you choose that thing? Because of marketing,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Which stories do you like? Do you believe in? Do you agree with? Or
Yeah, yeah, totally.
mm-hmm.
There's a
That's that,
packaging,
and
yeah.
then it depends on the past experiences. There's so many things that are involved, it, but it is shaped in many ways. But there's even with marketing, it you have to. It's telling a story. And do you like that story that's
Yes,
being told? Yeah.
yes, yeah, totally, yes. It's like when people think of marketing on the base level of it, it's like, yeah, money coming in. It's like, no, that's one aspect of marketing. But like marketing, I think you understand philosophically where I'm coming at with marketing, because a lot of people are like, it's just like, yeah, how much money can you bring in? It's like, no, it's also like the after part of it. It's the feeling, it's the branding. Like all of these things are marketing. So like we got Blaze Pizza, and on the side it said like it gave you instructions of how to like reheat the pizza. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is great marketing. And Tara was like, that's not marketing. And I'm like, no, it is. It's the aftercare. She's like, but they've already sold the product. I'm like, no, but it's like retention now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm gonna come back because you care. But it's like,
That's the feeling. Yes, exactly.
right? But that's like, I mean, we learned that in university. Like marketing is that's what really, because it was like accounting or marketing. And I was like, marketing is like everything though, bro. It's like it's not just money coming in and tactics. It's like, why are you there? Can I make you stay there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like when you look at it from the holistic point of view of like what marketing really is, that's why I really think that our entire world is just marketing. Like society, these like rules are marketing. You know, it's like if you break this law, you'll go to jail. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
better not do that. How do you make sure that people don't break this law? Give them examples. So when people break the law, put them on trial, make it public.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like you're market shaping the world.
Sure.
Right? It's like the ultimate genjutsu, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ultimate mind trick. It's
Yeah.
like we can really control the masses through marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird, but it's fake. That's the craziest part about it. It's just fake.
What do you mean by fake?
All right, so people watch me climbing, and they're like, "Wow, that's really cool," and me being like, "I'm literally just climbing a wall," but
Mm-hmm.
I put, oh no, the Arnie's video. Remember the Arnie's video that I shared to you? Like I sent you
Sure.
guys the raw videos, but then I was like, everything looks better with music. And I made like an edit towards it. It's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
dude, this looks so sick. If I give you the 100% raw data, you're gonna be like, that's kind of boring.
Sure.
But if I put song behind it, if I gave you only the highlights, you're gonna be like, oh, I want to try that now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fake. It's not real. What really happened was this long exchange between me and another person with no music. We are just waiting for somebody to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Or like climbing. It's just people with a strap climbing a wall. If you look at the reality of it, if you take away all the grandeur, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's basic. But then you add the grandeur in to make people like inspired to want to go do that thing.
Sure. But I don't know if I don't know if fake necessarily good, but like we are storytellers. That's
Yeah.
It's in our nature. Yeah, we've done it since campfire times, right?
But the this all right here.
This is I think, but this is it's the way it's how things get move forward, right? That when you
mm,
have campfire stories, you're telling a heroic story. Let's say you're not going to add the boring stuff, but the heroic things are what makes that other person listening to it want to go forward and do something too. So it's like there's a change that's happening.
yes, but that's the fakeness though of it because it's like it didn't really happen. I'm packaging it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's it's I understand. Yeah, it's just I think it's like yes, there's a package around it, but I think this is what helps push
Push up
forward
the no, totally. I'm
in
right,
a
totally,
positive
totally.
direction.
For sure.
Okay.
Right, totally. And that's why marketing is just the force, bro. It's a Jedi or a Sith.
Sure.
You're either trying to inspire people or you're not trying to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's like, oh, if it bleeds, it leads. I don't like to market in that direction because it's
Right.
like so negative, right?
So
And it's
yeah.
like,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So it's like Jedi and Sith. But like what I'm trying to say is if you and I experience something, it's true to us.
Mm.
But the moment we retell that story, it's fake because it's not
Sure.
really the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we can both tell the same story, but it's a different story,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because you'll gravitate towards one thing, I'll gravitate
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
another
Even
thing.
even if we experience the same thing or go through the same thing, I'll tell it in a way that I find inspiring, and you tell it in a way that
Exactly.
you find inspiring.
So that's what I mean. It's fake. It's like, which one's real? They're both not real. What's
Mm-hmm.
real is what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's really like, it's a
Sure. Yeah.
weird
I
concept.
think.
Again,
Yeah.
it's just like,
I think. Yeah. What's real? It's never gonna happen. Right. It's done. What's real is already
exactly.
finished.
Yes.
Right. What's being
Yes.
retold is what's I guess designed. Let's say.
That's so funny because it's like, that is what I think truth is too. It's like, what's true? It's like, what's already happened?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But like me retelling it is me changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not changing it going forward, but it's already happened. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what was real. But this right here is not real. This
Mm-hmm.
like exchange of like really, if you think about this podcast thing, we're just like we're like creating images in each other's minds back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like I see this, you see this, I see that, but it's like it's just a fake. I guess you just don't like the word fake. It's a fabricated, it's a
Designed.
it's a designed experiential thing that's made auditorily.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to paint something in your head so you could see what I'm seeing. And that's what communication is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, can I make you see what I'm seeing
Right.
in my head
Yeah.
and implant it in your head?
Mm-hmm.
It's I forgot what the term was. Somatic frequencies. So So there's a guy, Forbidden Knowledge, Billy Carson, and he was saying like somatic frequencies. Everything that you say is a somatic frequency. And what that is like I'm literally shooting when I said somatic frequencies, Tara was like, "Oh yeah, I know what that is." I was like, "What? Spiritual?" And she's like, "No, that's actually like a doctor term." So but he's using it in a spiritual way.
Sure.
So as I'm saying something, it's bouncing off, it's shooting out of my mouth and hitting your eardrum and going into your brain. That's a somatic frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But what he said, so she's like, "Yeah, that's the mechanism." But he's using it in a different way, which is like that thing that hits your brain is creating something.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all creating spells on each other through words,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's like, that's why they call it spelling, because you're casting spells with every single thing you say
Mm-hmm.
to another person. That's why you have to watch your words,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like, if you really think about it, that's what all dialogue, all podcasts, all conversations are just like spell casting back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird to think about though, right?
That's interesting. No, but that's true though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true.
That's
But
true.
if you take away that, we're just living like the animals, bro.
That's what it depends on who's controlling the words, right? I hear that you see when things got translated, when they translate something.
Mm.
So like I see this with some like Hindu TikToks and things like that. Text that people have read, if they've converted from Sanskrit or Vedas or like even the Bhagavad Gita, where they're using and then they use words like God. These are not God is not a word in Sanskrit.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
It's an English word. So there's already a connotation behind that word.
Right.
You've already changed the meaning.
Yes. And I think maybe that's why I'm so impressed with people that can speak multiple languages because you know more spells than me,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I don't know that many spells. So I'm going to say God. And you're
Exactly.
like, oh,
We're
but
limited. Yeah, we're limited
right.
in the vocabulary that we have. Yeah.
But but if you know more words, if you know more languages, it's like I can cast way more spells
Mm-hmm.
than like this limited freaking assortment that I have of like words that
Sure.
I know.
Yeah. But again, it's like there's yes, that's true. Now it's like now if you go back to economy, what's better for the world? Having
Mhm.
people having different languages or having one language?
One language for sure. We
Yeah,
can get
which
along.
and it makes sense. Like if you see like someone was explaining like how India's growth is a very much slower growth because most of the uh, in the nation speak many multiple different languages, so they can't coalesce on one. And
Right.
as in China, it's generally just one, right, as the main one,
Yeah.
right? So it's easier to communicate to the your whole citizens.
Right.
And
Nothing
you,
lost in translation. You can get things done. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what the story of the Tower of Babel is.
mm-hmm,
Like the humans were getting out of hand because they could all speak the same language, so they were building things that like the gods were worried about. So God is actually in the Bible, so technically God, not plural, destroyed their building and then made them all learn different languages so that they can't speak to one another.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's a story in the Bible because we were getting too powerful.
Mm,
But if you look at the Anunnaki story from like the Forbidden Knowledge, it's like God as an alien. He's like, oh, these monkeys are getting too powerful, so I'm going to distort their understanding,
right.
like cast them out. One last thing, I thought this was interesting because you kept saying it over and over. You're like campfire stories. Um, I don't know what it is, but like there are certain truths that like resonate with you, and then they're like true, and then you stick to them for the rest of your life. Okay, so do you remember what it was before God Light My Fire?
No.
I didn't even come up with God Light My Fire.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so it was Boys of Campfire.
Okay. Okay.
And remember that now?
Sure. Yeah, I
And
think so.
the reason why is because campfire is campfire stories. We're all huddled around, creating community, sharing stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? But again, it's like I didn't know what this was. I was just like, no, there's something here, right? I was in like networking, I think, taking a networking course, like computers, and then I had taken some business courses, and I was like, oh, this is it, marketing. Like this is what's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
pulling me.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, campfire stories. Okay, like this is how you share knowledge, blah blah blah. But like years later, we're still bringing up that same thing because it's like universally true.
Mm-hmm.
Campfires are how we like built things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like gotta light my fire. I didn't even realize the connotations till like more recently after going
Mm-hmm.
through like more spiritual growth. Like that was just because I was like, oh, I was in Hong Kong and it was like campfireco.com, boys of campfire. And then some like we were brainstorming. I literally co-opted this meeting room where instead of working on the business, I started asking them questions about what I was trying to build. So, and then this one girl was like, call it Gotta Light My Fire. And I'm like, what? Why? And she was like, it just sounds cool. Gotta Light My Fire. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, sure. So I bought the domain and like started building it from there. Right. But it's like, but that's what we're all doing. We're all lighting each other's fire.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
did that even, how did like, it's like
Yeah, it's
full
interesting. Yeah.
circle is like,
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah.
but there was something there inside me that's like, this is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like years later, you're like, oh, it's correct for these reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Is time an illusion? I haven't finished the book yet, but there's this book I'm reading called Time Loops. And basically it's about how like time is non-linear.
Mm-hmm.
We experience time linearly, right? But in reality, time is happening all at once. So we're able to access like the future and the past, but
Okay.
through our
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like we're experiencing it physically as a linear progression. But they talked about this in yoga too, which is Prakriti and Prashua. So Prakriti is nature, it's always changing, and then Prashua is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
It's your soul, which is like independent of change, right? So if that's true, if the Hindus have it right, then like is time happening all at once and we can like peer into the future and then bring it back? Or like that's what intuition is. It's like the future use like, hey man, come this way, come this way. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but like my intuition's forcing me in that direction because your future self is like guiding you.
Sure.
Sounds weird, but like there's a science book I'm reading right now. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what are we talking about? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, there's
Sounds
multiple
weird.
ways. Yes and no, because it's we also bring in the DNA from the past,
It's true
past
too.
experiences or ancestral
Like
experiences that
epigenetics, you mean?
yeah
Yeah.
that are affecting our choices as well.
But that makes sense though, because like it's already happened. But what about the future self that hasn't been manifested yet, but you feel it. There's like an intuition. You're like, I need to go that way. You don't even know why. And then later you're like, perfect example. Or maybe it's a chicken in the, all right, I really gotta go, uh, it's funny
Yeah,
because like
yeah, yeah.
it's actually a tattoo example. Like I'm about to go get a tattoo, and that's why I have to like go because I gotta prep for it. But like, so these tattoos, right? I've always wanted tattoos. So chicken or egg? Did I suddenly get a bunch of tattoos because as a kid I always wanted them? Or was the future me already having tattoos and being like, dude, you're gonna love these tattoos? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
weird. That's a
Same
weird
thing. Yeah, that'd be the
intro.
opposite. Yeah, exactly. It's like I know I don't like tattoos, so I'm not gonna
You.
have tattoo. Yeah, for me, it's the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
opposite way, right? So
But I no, no, but the thing is this, I hate pain. The reason why I have to prep for these tattoos is I gotta
sure.
numb the area before
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
the
yeah.
tattoo. And that takes at least an hour. Like I have to
But
like
it,
wrap.
but it's also like you waited till you figured out that there was a solution.
It's true too. It's true too.
So
No, but like, did I know that was gonna happen? Or like chicken and egg. It's like, did I search for the solution or was I pulled to the solution? I've always loved tattoos. I used to draw on my hands all the time.
no, I think because you've always loved tattoos, you would be drawn to finding solutions because you want a tattoo.
Ah, true, true, true. It's like numbing cream for injections too. I always hated
Yeah,
injections.
you're finding a solution because you wanted something. How do I get to that point without? Because there's something that is blocking it.
True, true,
Right?
true, true, true. But then in this moment, like there'll be moments where I'm like walking Athena with Tara and I'm like, oh, I love my life. How did I build this?
Hmm.
But then it's like, but was that current me being like to kid me, hey, go do this? Or
No, no, I think it's just intuition that was there.
it was just like I was just going for it. I'm like, I'm gonna build this no matter what.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know. And no, I agree with you. Like
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
practical
No,
way of looking
yeah,
at it.
sure, sure, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But
But
yeah,
like,
again, yeah, this is philosophical, right? So it's like
yeah, true.
it's to each our own.
No, yeah, right. It's just fake. It's fake, right? Like in the end of the
What
day, I'm
story
gonna
do you want to
right,
believe?
yeah, totally. Yeah, facts, facts, facts. Touche, you got me with my own how dare you use my spells against me, Potter. My spells because you're using words. Like, look at
Mm.
that. Yeah. Um, wait, I want to say one more thing about that. There's hmm, damn, I lost my train of thought. But yes, you're right. It is really just like how you want to perceive it. But oh no, I remember what I was gonna say. Um, have you ever had this though? Okay, oh, I really gotta go. All right, last thing. So, have you ever had this experience where you're like, something's divinely guiding me though? So, what I mean by that is this: it's not like I'm going forward to guessing. It's like I'll just do this thing, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know how that's gonna work out. Then all of a sudden, it works out. So, for example, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. Boom, here's extra money. You're like, oh, cool,
Hmm.
and you're like, didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Or like I'm gonna go left instead of right, and then like when you go left, it's like, "Ooh, a car hit that thing. That
Sure.
was
Yeah,
lucky."
yeah, yeah.
Are these just more stories we're telling ourselves, or like,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah, maybe I,
I think they are. Yeah. Well,
but
I'm more, in the
practical, totally, totally, yeah, yeah.
atheistic field, so
No, but
like
like,
that's gonna
but
lead
I don't
my.
believe in God. I think it's more like with the
Yeah, sure,
time loop
sure.
thing. It's just time loops, man. In the book, I'm like, I haven't finished it yet, but like, it's just this idea that if time, because the Hindu said this, I'm like, what are you guys trying to say here? Where it's like our soul is independent of time. It knows what's already happened.
Hmm.
Like they say in yoga, like you're watching the movie of your life play out. So all movies have a start and end. They know how it's going to play out,
Hmm.
but you're watching it for the entertainment. I'm experiencing life for the entertainment, but like I already know how it's going to end. I'm going to die with tattoos and like whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
As long as you keep following the path, though.
Yeah, yeah. I think, but we've set it up right. If you already know how you're gonna die, or like you've got that idea,
Mm.
you're following that direction.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's a bit of both. It's like future
Sure.
projection and then following it through. It's like it's like accomplishing any goal. Like I want to be a black belt. All right, cool. Vroom. Just keep following
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And there's no way to. Yeah. Then you can't say like, oh, how do I get here? How do I get a back belt?
It's like, bro, dude, you
You
just
where's
kept
this?
doing it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm making this more complicated than it is, and it's literally just like you just keep following, and then all the divine interventions are really just like happenstance and luck.
Hmm.
But it's just a story. You're right. Story we tell ourselves. All right. Until next week. Any last final thoughts?
No, it's an interesting. I always say it's an interesting world, but
It is an interesting world,
different.
though. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we just don't know what's going on, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Hmm.
Like, how does this work? You know?
Yeah. And somehow we're here as these intelligent creatures.
Yeah, it's true. But then science, like, is making it even more weird with like the quantum physics and like
Mm.
reaffirming spirituality. Remember like the simulation theory from last week?
Yeah.
It's like the superposition. I'm like, bro,
Hmm.
were they right the whole time? Are we in a like you just don't know. And it's like the more we learn, the more we're like, oh, this could actually be a potential.
Mm.
It's like that line, like the more you know, the less you know.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
anyways. All right. Till next week. Tasty fish.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, fish.
Peace.